Rumors are circulating right now that Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are already headed for divorce after less than a year of marriage? And not only that, but they're already moved out. Ben Affleck has already left the house. That is just what the inside source says. The writing is on the wall. It's over. They're headed for divorce. And for once, Ben's not to blame. Fans have noticed that Ben and Jennifer have been spending increasing amount of time apart in recent weeks. He didn't attend the Met Gala with J-Lo on May 6th, despite her important position as co-chair of the event. His official excuse was that he was busy filming The Accountant 2. But the source for In Touch says he decided to call it quits on his marriage with her. He's focusing on his work and his kids now. He's already moved out, and they'll likely have to sell the dream house they spent 2 years searching for.
They literally spent 2 years looking for a house.
Didn't they just get married again recently?
Yes.
First time they've ever been
They'll
married.
never stop loving each other, but she can't control him and he can't change her. There's no way it could have lasted. And this is literally like 3 weeks after she posted, or she like produced this magnificent like cinematic experience, like a whole 3-part movie, album, and documentary trilogy about their love story called The Greatest Love Story Never Told. And he's like, hey, maybe the point of The Greatest Love Story Never Told is that you never tell it. And she was like, shut up, I'm going to tell it because it's about me, not you.
Yes.
And she, published, or she like publicized these private love letters that he wrote her. And she just comes off as a massive nightmare of a person. You can kind of tell from the paparazzi photos of Ben Affleck that he was miserable. I mean, maybe he was miserable before he got back with her too.
Yes.
But he just went back to this familiar toxic relationship after, recovering from alcoholism, and then, after his divorce with Jennifer Garner.
Let's watch the video again, just so you can remember.
Why is everyone surprised? Bro is literally tired of her, as we can tell. Look at this. The way that he closes this door says everything. It never gets old. It never gets old.
When he puts the car into drive, he goes, ugh.
And everyone was saying, no, he's just mad because the paparazzi is bothering them. I find that hard to believe.
You know how they could turn this around? What they should do, if they end on good terms and they don't hate each other, they should just make like the fantasy booking version of this as Geely 2, and they should just make Geely 2 even though they're not together anymore.
The chemistry on set would be crazy.
It does seem weird. Like, if he didn't want her publicizing all of this personal stuff about their relationship, why would she do that?
Because it was about her, not about him.
It's about her, and he was kind of being a beta in response. Like, he was just like, I'm supportive, I guess, even though this makes me deeply uncomfortable.
Was she trying to do like Taylor Swift? Isn't Taylor Swift always publicizing stuff about her boyfriend or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, not to the level that she just did, because she did an album about their relationship and their breakup and their getting back together. Then the movie about it, which is a musical movie,
wild.
A whole movie on Amazon, I think. And then also a documentary about the making of the movie and the album. It was like a 3-part cinematic musical experience about their relationship.
And then when she was going to go on
for
tour
attention
to
and money.
do it, she was going to go on tour like for like the musical aspect of it, and nobody bought tickets, so she had to make it a greatest hits tour.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
And
That just seems really bad. Like, I would feel so stupid if I had ruined my relationship by publicizing everything about it.
6 times the charm. Well, it'll be
Guarantee you she does not blame herself.
Really? Do you think they're going to get back together?
Oh, no. I think that the perfect ending to this would be him getting back with Jennifer Garner.
Oh, for sure. That makes sense.
Yeah.
The kids turn out all right, and
Everything's back to
fine.
normal.
Did J-Lo and Ben Affleck have kids together or no?
No.
No.
She just has Ricky Martin's children, and he has children with Jennifer Garner.
Correct. And she's been married 6 times.
Wow, 6 times.
You know, she's the Thanos of marriage.
Couldn't possibly
She's the
be
Elizabeth
me.
Taylor.
Couldn't possibly be me that's the common denominator here.
Well, that's the question. He's like, well, have you looked at how many? He's like, look, I'm not saying I'm innocent in this. I've been married too, but, 1 divorce, 6 divorces.
Saw another tweet that said need every Dunkin' Donuts in the country to fly their flags at half staff
Oh, that's
for Ben.
Ben.
The Dunkin' Donuts is the only thing that's going to get him through this.
He seems like a workaholic when he's doing well. Seems like he loves to work a lot, right? Like even somebody in the chat pointed out that says even when he was playing Batman, he seemed miserable. But I think that had a lot to do because he was still in the throes of alcoholism at that time, and working for DC and Warner Brothers can be a miserable hand dealt to you in and of itself, just because of all the studio overreach and everything like that. So now he's got his own studio. He's making his own movies. So theoretically, he could be entering a very, very prosperous time for him because he's not going to have the big studio interference, or at least not to the same level that he was having it before. Perhaps he's learns to love himself rather than
Love yourself, King.
yeah, and just do that. He could just become a late. He's got to be in his 50s.
I don't
His
know.
mid 50s.
Do they have an age gap between them?
I bet you they're pretty close in age.
Or is J-Lo just still very young
I
looking?
thought she was older than
She's
him.
probably older than
Ben
him.
Affleck is 51, and
she's
Jennifer
what, in her mid-50s?
Lopez is...
Mid 50s.
She's 54.
Okay, so yeah, she's a little bit older than him. And he can just go and be a bachelor for the next couple of years. Learn to love yourself, Ben. It's okay. He's making The Accountant too. The Accountant was one of my favorite Ben Affleck movies.
Do you think he's going to get
anyways.
fat again?
No. Now you get in shape.
Revenge
Oh, now
Now you
bod.
get in
in
shape.
shape? Okay.
Now you muscle up. Well, plus he's playing a character that's in shape right now, so he's got the perfect excuse. Both he gets to do it because it's part of making the movie, and he's like, screw you. I'm about to come out of this looking really, really good, and then he can take swipes. He's like, and I don't need Ozempic or something.
I wonder
like
who
that.
else she's going to date next.
She'll go back to was it A-Rod?
She's going to
Alex
get with
Rodriguez?
Bad Bunny or something. Something
Or she's
wild
gonna,
card like that.
Or someone shockingly younger.
Pete
Yes.
Davidson.
And she's going
yes.
to do the share thing,
Yeah.
you know?
I think she
Pete
should.
Davidson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's either going to
goodness.
be Pete Davidson or Bad Bunny. I'm going to place my bets on those.
And then we'll have to deal with them thinking that they're going to be the one that's going to marry her and she'll settle down forever. She's just never going to settle down.
yeah,
the best
I
thing
don't
she
think
could do is
she's
just
capable
embrace
of it.
That's fine. You're in an industry where nobody's expecting you to do that. It's a different thing when society tells women settle down, have a family. Nowhere is she hearing that in her industry.
Right. But she already did have a family. She's 56.
But I'm
Yeah.
saying nobody's going to tell her to settle down and have the traditional relationship
But
now.
it's done now.
Yeah.
There's no,
That time is.
that time has long
Over.
passed.
It'll
Now
be a
she can
blended
be.
family.
It's sad.
Now she can either, she has to wait to be a grandma, which then she's
Yeah.
going to have to do a lot of plastic
that's-
surgery to avoid looking
One
like
of
a
her
grandma.
daughters identifies as trans, so that's out the window right
Wait,
there.
Isn't one of Jennifer Garner's daughters
Yep.
non-binary too?
Yep.
It's like the
Ben
Hollywood
Affleck's
curse.
daughter with Jennifer
Yeah.
Garner as well. Yep.
Yeah.
And they seem to be friends, so maybe it's something they gave each other.
Right. It's
the
like
idea.
the social contagion of the step-siblings.
Yeah.
What they can do now, they can bring back Ben Affleck as Daredevil, and they can bring back Jennifer Garner as Elektra, and they can fall back in love on the set of that movie.
That'd be beautiful.
I don't think anybody would go watch that movie. I would go watch it. Everybody knows I would go watch it. I love I love those bad Daredevil and Elektra movies from the early 2000s. But the point is, they can fall back in love there. It'll be a story for the ages, and then we'll get the movie about that. That will be Gigli too. It'll be a completely subversive sequel that's nothing like the original. I would be down to watch that. I think, but only a year.
Overall, I think that this is just a sign of people using marriage as a tool for self-discovery, and then when
What do you mean?
Is that a thing?
yeah, because I think the really traditional view of marriage was more of a pragmatic arrangement
Okay.
for family. And then once it was, past the Industrial Revolution, you were more focused on marrying for love and companionship, especially because
Now people
wives
just-
no
yeah.
longer were able to be contributing to the household income if they were doing childcare, because men were working outside of the home. So they wanted to be married to men who treated them well and that they loved. So there was then marriage for love. But then now no one needs to be married except for as a path towards self-discovery, self-actualization. And you have to be a complete, perfect person before you're ready to get married.
Unless
and when
you're...
you eventually get married in that mindset, in that worldview, and it doesn't work out that way, and you actually have to make sacrifices for the other person, that's when, you know, people decide this isn't working for me anymore.
Yeah, the necessity of it is gone. Therefore, it's a lot easier to just cut bait
and the concept of like staying together for the kids wasn't like a universally bad concept. I think
it's a good concept so long as there's not abuse in the relationship,
right?
You know,
but it's like people think, well, the relationship isn't good enough for
danger.
me. Well, the relationship is good enough for your kids, so that's what matters more. But yeah, this is just a total renouncement of that idea.
And
but also it kind of doesn't matter. Like, who cares if they're together? Like, they don't have kids. They don't have anything except their fame to tie them together, and it doesn't matter.
And I was going to make the argument, said, like, unless you feel like a strong pull towards having kids, but even that doesn't necessitate marriage anymore with the way things
we'll get into that later.
Yeah, that
and we're
guy
going to
you
get into that. So,
thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.